platform. And if anybody is wanting to go over to her Facebook and share it to yours, then we can share with the world. So my name is Christina Amon, and we are really excited to have come together as a collective. I'm actually just hosting, but there'll be a panelist. The panelists today are all healthcare practitioners. And all of us are here because we're passionate about serving people, helping uplift humanity, helping support our planet in that kind of co-creative planetary wellness of humans and the earth working together in harmony, which is absolutely possible and happened long before modern times. So restoring that balance and finding solutions to all needs in all ways and win-win-win in all directions. So we're going to hear some amazing stories. And what we all have found here are incredible solutions in these times, which are unprecedented times. We have things changing faster than we've ever seen, disruptions happening to people's personal lives, to the planet, to our social economic structure, to our thought patterns. You know, everything is kind of up for review right now is kind of how I see it. And we have a lot of systems that haven't really been working so great and are sort of crumbling. And we have this opportunity to rebuild and recreate and restore holistic systems that can really support that kind of wellness that I was speaking to earlier. So in these times, we have all come together because we have partnered with a company who is really providing solutions at a time when there are a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles and suffering and struggling happening for a lot of people in a lot of parts of the planet. So what we found here and what these healthcare practitioners are going to share with you is this concept of leverage, of finding a way to still show up for their purposes, for their passion, to serve their communities and the people that they want to serve, and be supported to create even more impact, to reach even more people, and still increase their income and their bank accounts and their own freedom and flexibility. And so we might hear this concept of people in the healthcare practitioner field, you know, hitting burnout, or, healing the healer, right? Like all these ways that people who are serving other people can't figure out a way to take care of themselves or have an exit strategy for how to stop working so hard, dollar per hour, to be able to take care of themselves and their own health. And so here, even a solution to that is remarkable. So again, finding solutions to create more of that freedom and more of that flexibility so that everybody can really show up for their true purpose and for themselves and for their families and for their dreams and their communities, and create, better systems and solutions beyond. So we're going to hear some amazing stories. I'm really excited. And, so the company that we've partnered with is really on a mission to help humans create greater health for ourselves, kind of starting with the gut microbiome as sort of like where so much human health resides, and beyond, rippling out through this system of living low temperature, wind dehydrated foods that have been grown in such mineralized soil that it really helps these products stand apart from anything else. Many of the people here, some of us, myself, I come from actually a farming background. And for me, I didn't have any concept that products were a part of my life. I didn't think about superfoods or supplements or purchasing something and importing it onto my land as part of my future. I just thought, oh, I'm here, I have land now, like I'm going to grow all my own food and go to the farmers markets and friends' land, and that's it, I've arrived. So it was really a discovery for me to find out that my soil was depleted, that from other farming practices and from it being old forests that had been cut down, my gardens weren't actually supplying to me what I needed, a full spectrum of minerals and nutrients to live optimally. And I put it to the test. I did actually live off my land for a while, just eating fruits and vegetables, and became very depleted. So personally, I know that, you know, there is something so powerful about these products that have been grown in an ancient lava bed where volcanic ash has just really supplied that full spectrum of minerals. In addition, regenerative farming practices and just pure, clean, beyond organic, you know, crop rotation and all of these beautiful practices to really create quality product. And then this low, like I mentioned, this low temperature, wind dehydrated proprietary method of keeping all of the nutrients contained inside these powders means that when this arrived to me, and then the third thing, so I have the soil, the process of nutrient containment, I don't even know the right word, somebody can type it in the chat, but the process of keeping those nutrients really intact, even enzymes, like there's higher enzyme count in these powders than in like vegetables at the grocery store that are raw on the shelf, or in the, you know, in the fridge. And then the third thing is the fact that the company just has zero tolerance for any kind of trace of any contaminants. So whereas many other products, even organic products, they allow for a certain amount of heavy metals or pesticides, herbicides, glyphosate, etc. These products have none of that, no mold, no nothing. If any contaminants show up and they're multi-tiered in-house microbiology testing, it's just discarded. So their commitment to purity, the high quality of the soils that the products are grown in, and then this process of nutrient concentration, thank you, of being able to package that and send that and distribute it. And not only to people like me, who am already an organic farmer, but to food deserts, to places to create more access for clean eating and clean living, places where people don't have gardens, where they don't even have the education, and you know, the food is like 7-Eleven, right? So this is what the company has really created, is a way to get nutrition and detoxification out to the masses. So through this system of deeply saturating the body and then giving a very gentle, gradual, wholesome, safe detoxification process through these, you're going to hear a little bit more about how the program works. You have something that's accessible, something that's easy, something that's, you know, relative to everything else, it's actually affordable. That's something that is yummy, something that kids can do, something that athletes can do, nursing moms can do, you know, it's modifiable to all styles. So what these healthcare practitioners have found by aligning with a company whose purpose is to help humanity over profit, you know, that all profits are going back into building up the company and creating more access for more people. And then this incredible economic system where the part of the profits are going into the pockets of the people who are out there telling our stories of how our lives are impacted with our networks. And through this system of a marriage of referral marketing with this multi-generational pay plan, people are able to create income streams that allows them to live their life by design. Now, I have met many healthcare practitioners who don't have that story. They're on the wheel. They're trying to figure out, how do I retire from this? How do I ever stop working? Like, there's nothing built in to, you know, I've created my own business. This is great. But, you know, how do I stop doing this and still get paid? How do I retire? How do I go on vacation? How do I have maternity leave? These are all really big, important questions that people are looking at. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on one of our first panelists to hear some of the great solutions and the beautiful lives that people are creating with this. So Deetra Clark is a counselor, a therapist, a coach, and somebody who's fairly new into our company and has created incredible success and stories. I'm so honored to with you and so inspired by you. And we'd love to just hear a little bit about, you know, what was your life before, and you know, what have you found since joining us? Thank you so much for taking the time, Deetra.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me on. So I tried to make some notes. You wouldn't be going, okay, Deetra, land the plane. I am very new to Purium. I joined, I think I just completed the end of my 4th week last week, which is amazing. And it's been such a beautiful journey. But since 2008, I have been a licensed clinical social worker. And my specialty population is women and couples. And I've worked in a few different settings throughout those 13, 14 years. But the majority of my practice was outpatient. So it was a private practice. And I stepped out of traditional counseling in the sense that when I first started, I worked for a community mental health agency. And a lot of that work was diagnosing, and which can be very defeating for people, because with the diagnosis often comes, okay, so now what? I have this diagnosis. You're going to work on helping me with behavioral management. You're going to help me work on coping skills. And if it's a severe diagnosis, what happens a lot of times is people need psychotropic medication. So there's this pairing between the therapist and the psychiatrist to prescribe a medication. And that was just a really hard model for me, because I believe as a social worker that we look at the whole person. And so we're mind, body, and soul, and you can't separate those. And so if you're just treating the mind, but you're not treating the body, and you're not paying attention to the outliers, I mean, you're missing really the heart of what's happening at that in that person. So I stepped into private practice, where I no longer had to diagnose. I'm from Arkansas, and so the way that we were able to do therapy as independent practitioners is a little bit different. And now I'm doing that a little bit less. I'm doing more coaching, and I'm home with my 4 kiddos, homeschooling. And so Purium, what it's really allowed me to do is to marry all the different things that I've done in the last 13 years, and to take my heart for treating the whole person and present people with hope and restoration that, yep, you can be struggling emotionally. And yes, you can be struggling, spiritually, you can be struggling in these different areas, but we can take these different modalities and we can bring them together to treat all of who you are, that you don't have to feel like your only solution is medication. And I'm not speaking to people that, may be in a crisis situation. That's a little bit different. That's speaking to stabilization. So the goal there is different. I'm speaking about chronic depression, chronic anxiety, chronic emotional irregulation, those problems where people are just told again and again, here are your only few options. Here is what is available to you. And that is incredibly defeating, because what that model does is it ignores our gut health. So we're just looking at one independent piece over here, or we're looking at one independent piece over here, but you can't separate them. It's kind of like cutting a person in half, right? You have to look at the entire picture. And so what this does is it really allows for, not only can the Lord heal you spiritually, and I can partner with you to help you manage emotionally, but here is a tangible something that I can hand to you to restore your health, something that you can do, something that's easy. Because what happens with a lot of people is that they're like, okay, great, you're telling me to change my lifestyle. How do I do that? We are a sick care country where we really don't model that well. And so when you try to present that to people and you don't have tangible solutions, they're defeated before they get started. stepping into this and having a collaborative approach with my team where it's me as a clinician and then we have regenerative detox specialist. It's a beautiful marrying of the whole picture so people feel like they're getting a full approach to their healthcare. Like, not only are we saying, here, we want to hand you these solutions, but you also get an entire community that's going to come behind and give you tangible steps to walk this out so you can start restoring health to your whole person. And so it's just been like a dream to step into this. And it really resonates with how I always wanted to do treatment, but we weren't taught that in school. 15 years ago, nobody was talking about gut health as it relates to brain gut connection. We were talking diagnostic codes. And so really what we're doing is we're stepping into this new elevated model of treatment that is a long-term sustainable model for people. And so it's really been an honor. Yeah, that was a mouthful.
Thank you. That was powerful. You're getting comments. And yeah, I mean, just that one statement, like we're a sick care country. That is really our corporations are thriving very well off of people being sick and making us sicker, and in both the food systems and the, quote, healthcare systems. So to have a solution that, I love how you said, I give people hope, to finally feel like, oh, how are we going to talk about mental health if we're not taking care of this baseline nutrition, baseline gut, all of the serotonin, all of that second brain. We'll probably hear other people talk more articulately than myself. It's powerful. It's powerful to have this nutrient, this very accessible nutrient base be a wellness platform for all the other modalities. So thank you so much, Deetra, for sharing. And I want to ask you one more question. You've spoken,
of course,
how your patients, clients, how your people are positively impacted by you partnering with Purium. I'd love to hear if you can share with us how you personally are impacted financially and what you're seeing for your future by partnering with this business model.
Yeah, I would love to share. Oh my gosh. So I mentioned earlier that the counseling coaching piece is it's very, very part-time. So I do that as my schedule allows because homeschooling the 4 kiddos is primary for me now, but I still wanted to feel like I was contributing to the field that I stepped into. That's a life assignment for me. That is a mission for me. And so stepping into Purium has it's really blown my mind, because when I stepped into it more because of what the company stands for and what I knew that they would offer people. I really had zero idea about the compensation plan. Like, it was kind of like you had me at hello with organic and sprouted, and I just wanted to go after that. I never asked any questions about, tell me more about the compensation plan. And so the first week after I stepped into this, I was checking my bank account and I had a paycheck and I didn't even know what it came from. And it's been that way every single week since I stepped in. I was with another health and wellness company for 5 years before I switched to Purium. And in the first 3 weeks of being with Purium, I exceeded my highest year of income with that health and wellness company in 3 weeks. And it's mind-blowing. And it's not like I'm some independent outlier, like it's just me. I have an entire team, and they continue to come and tell me the same thing. They continue to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I just got my first paycheck. I can't believe this. I don't even feel like I'm working. And so what you see a lot is where there's 1 or 2 people that are successful and the other people are working really hard to get to the success of the people who went before them. I've not found that here. I have found that the same success that I've stepped into, my team is also experiencing that. And I think it's because this is such a collaborative approach. It's where no man is left behind, right? So I remember at the end of my 3rd week, I didn't even know what was happening, but I remember my team being like, hey guys, Deetra's really close to meeting this next piece or this next rank. We're going to stay up and support her. I didn't even know what was happening I just knew that they were like, come on, let's do this with her. And there was this rallying behind me. And so now I'm doing that with my team. Not like, oh, let's make a lot of, it's more like people are really having their lives changed because of this. And the products just speak for themselves. And the income is the fruit of sharing something that is true and real and valuable and genuine. And people see that. When you have something that is really true and genuine, you don't have to sell it. You're sharing it. And the rest just happens in that. And it's such a generous, it is such a generous compensation plan. I'm still learning and I'm 4 weeks in. Like I still probably have not even figured out all the ways that Purium is reimbursing me for sharing this, but it doesn't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm genuinely just sharing my heart and the mission that I've always had.
That is amazing. I mean, who doesn't want to feel financially supported to be on the mission that you came here to do? That's so powerful. And congratulations for all your success.
Thanks.
I know you're just at the beginning and you're just going to keep going and bringing everybody with you. So super happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm actually going to bring on one of those people that you've been talking about who's been right there with you, holding your hand, coaching you, mentoring you, cheering you on. And that is our amazing regenerative health specialist, Rita Fleming.
Yes.
And I'd love to have you share, Rita, you know, why Purium? Why partner with this company? What were you doing before? What have you found here, and what are you excited to be creating going forward? You are also on fire and creating massive success, bringing massive amounts of people with you, and another super inspiring woman here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Christina, and thank you, Deetra. I really love learning from everyone here. And my name's Rita Fleming, and as Christina said, I'm a regenerative health specialist. And over the last 15 years, I've been working in depth, studying every modality of health I could find. And that was to heal my own body from chronic pain from a car accident, which, you know, I had to relearn how to walk and all of it. And so I was actively looking for solutions, and that's where I found regenerative health. And then just a couple of years ago, I was really actively praying for a way that I could help more people. How can I share this message of these regenerative principles so people don't have to suffer? And that's just a huge mission of mine and on my heart, because I looked for solutions for 10 years before I found anything that got to that root level. And so I was also actively looking, A, how can I help more people? B, how can I create something that's location independent? And like Christina said, actually going to help me get out of that grind, that 9 to 5. Because in my clinical practice, I was only able to help 5 people a day, you know, and that was very intensive mentally and emotionally and physically, and lots of time afterwards. Whereas since I partnered with this company, I've been able to collaboratively impact thousands of people's lives in the most beautiful ways, in ways that I couldn't have even imagined before. And the third piece that I was really looking for was a solution to this depletion that I see every single day in my clinical practice, where people are just not getting what they're needing at that basic nutritional foundational level. And so every day I'm working with people that are like, you know, I'm just not feeling satisfied. I'll finish food but I'll still be looking in the fridge. Like, what is that one piece that I'm not getting that I'm looking for? And that's how I felt. I was very actively looking for, like, what is it that I'm missing? And I'm not finding it in any of the foods that I'm eating or the supplements or trying these different things. And so that's when Purium came into my life, and I was just actively learning about the soil health and looking for those solutions. And within 3 days of getting this amazing nutrition into my body, I felt the lights come back on in my body. And it was just like, oh, this is the first time I think I've felt nourished in my entire life. And I've been blessed to grow up with organic foods and farms and permacultures. Like, I've had access to the most beautiful, amazing nourishment throughout my life. And this was just so different it actually allowed me to absorb these nutrients and actually allowed me to really work on that gut health, which is that foundation for our absorption. And then really working again with that deep nourishment at that soil level was life-changing. I don't know of any other company that is incorporating that in, because all of health starts at that foundational level of the soil health. Like, we are only as healthy as our soils are. And so to find a company that's like actively participating in that soil health ecology aligns with another one of my deep, deep passions in life. And so it allowed me to take everything that I've been studying and learning over the last 15 years, traveling the world and studying with different practitioners and health and medical anthropology and my regenerative studies, and just bring it all together in this beautiful collaborative piece. And through that, like I said, I've just been able to impact, thousands of people's lives by partnering and collaborating with other people who were also praying for this. So it's just been unbelievable. And my sister introduced this to me, and it was so amazing to watch her journey. I was literally looking at her, she was a new mama. She just wasn't getting any sleep, and she looked like she was reverse aging. She looked like she went, from carrying lots of stress to like looking like she was 16 years old again. And I was like, okay, what are you doing? And so I started to bring it into my clinical practice and looking at the data and doing iridology consultations with people and seeing like these changes happening at the cellular level, at that tissue state level. And so my real goal is to help people heal multiple generations. And a big piece of regenerative health is also healing at that cellular level, not only physically, but emotionally. So really addressing multiple generations of trauma healing. And it's been so amazing to find a program where you can incorporate all of these different aspects that impact the body mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and be able to do it in a way that's working with other amazing, incredible people with so many gifts. So what I love about this is I can share my deepest passions in the world and my deepest gifts, and then help other people to share their deepest passions and gifts. And I've been able to step out of that 9-to-5 model and really have that full location independence. And like I said, since I've been able to have such a larger reach and impact, I've also been able to increase my personal income, 5 times what I was when I was working in my clinical practice alone, being a solo entrepreneur and practitioner.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing. There was so much in there. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things here. I mean, just that concept of like, I'm not interested in what you're eating. I'm interested in what your food is eating. I'm interested in what the soil is that your food is being grown in. Like who's having that conversation with the products that they're purchasing, the food they're purchasing, that alone is just so revolutionary. And Rita, you've always been so at the forefront, even within our company, of really articulating that and highlighting that for us. So it is amazing that our founders, visionaries, formulator is, has been there all along. And that's why we all have experienced that of like trying these products, even like myself too. I was already eating organic. I was already growing my own food, but a few days in and like the lights came on, and it's that recovery from depletion, that whether we've been a mom or just, in the United States, it's deep, the depletion. So thank you so much. And then for you to have 5 times your income in this business model, which is part-time hours, it's still part-time hours. I mean, if you go to, Rita's social media, she's still like at the beach most of the time, or hiking, dancing, like having fun with her nephews right now. It's still part-time hours, and yet you're able to help more people, 5 times your income stream, and then, prioritize your own health into longevity and live your best life forever, or at least the length of this body's life. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to bring on, I'm going a little out of order here. I hope it's okay with our panelists, but I'm going to bring on Rachel Ballensott, who is one of the top leaders in our company, has always been like a big inspiration for me. And she's going to really share with us her background of being an Ayurvedic practitioner and what she's found by partnering with this company and this business model. Thanks for being here, Rachel.
Thank you so much. Wow, this is such a beautiful panel. I just love everything I'm hearing. It's so just rich and inspiring, and so glad to see so many people thriving. And you know, Ayurveda is just a beautiful East Indian practice, and I actually came to it because of the wounded healer. I was actually sick myself, and I wanted to figure out how to cure myself. I was like, how can I heal my body? You know, this was so beyond me. I'd been to Eastern medicine, Western medicine. I was, you know, I was struggling with Hashimoto's, an autoimmune disorder of the thyroid, and so this was a really big. You know, it's something that so many people grapple with, is autoimmune disorders, and I was trying to understand this, and I really fell in love with herbs. I really fell in love with herbs through Ayurveda. I love the practice of Panchakarma. There's so many beautiful aspects. And I felt some improvement, and yet there was still something missing. I wasn't really all the way there. I was struggling, still exhausted, still feeling sleepy. I've seen Ayurveda help with a lot of different things. I've seen my teacher diagnose somebody who had parasites, and nobody else, everyone was telling them it was mental. It was, she had some psychological disorder, and my teacher was like, it's actually your liver is full of parasites. I watched this person totally recover, and saw the pictures of these parasites coming out in the water in the toilet, and saw these photographs, and it was just incredible watching this. And that's what made me fall in love with it. I was like, I want to help people like that. I want to be able to do that for people. This woman had been bloated forever and was struggling. And so, you know, I eventually had my own practice. I helped co-teach some of her classes, and then I had my own practice out of my home. And this was really rich. I drew from all my different backgrounds, also as an alchemical hypnotherapist, and various other modalities, craniosacral. And so I really combined all these different things. And one of the things that happened is I suddenly discovered this protocol, you know, Purium's health protocol, and this 30-day nutrition. And I thought, you know, this is something that could take me to the next level. I could definitely use a cleanse. I looked at it, and from my Ayurvedic background, I said, oh, this has all the herbs I need. This has rhodiola. This has, you know, eleuthera root. Wow, this has maca. Wow, this has, you know, all these different mushrooms. And I was just fascinated with the blend. And I thought, this is so incredible. And I brought it to my teacher. She said, this looks tridoshic. This looks good for everyone, you know. So I kind of like had her stamp of approval, and I did it. And pretty incredibly, within the first 7 days, my brain fog lifted, my adrenal fatigue just disappeared, and I went from napping several times a day to wanting to work out. Like, oh my God, I gotta move, I gotta work out. And so this became huge for me, just like, wow, I gotta share this with everybody. And I immediately was sharing it with my best friends, and one of my girlfriends who had was postpartum Hashimoto's as well. Was able to get off, you know, lower her medications quite substantially. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And she was able to finally be a mother. She had given birth at 42, and she was all of her life wanted to be a mother, and was just exhausted and struggling with postpartum. And I watched her life change. I watched her whole body change. She looked like she was pregnant still. People 3 years later were asking her when she was due, and this was bugging her. And I just watched everything in her change. And suddenly her energy was back, and she was like able to be a mom, and just super excited about it, and just had energy to play with her kid. And it just gave me so much joy. And I just kept sharing this with my friends. I started sharing it with my clients, and it just changed everything. And for me too, personally, because in order to become an Ayurvedic practitioner, I'd given up wedding photography. So I'd taken quite a substantial income change, and was suddenly, you know, not earning what I was used to earning. And because of my own health, I wasn't quite there. I wasn't able to really work as much as I wanted to. And I was turning away photography clients. I was turning away, you know, Ayurveda clients. And I was just kind of going inward, and just more and more trying to figure out, like, you know, how do I heal myself? And so I was pretty excited that when I started this protocol, how much my gut changed, and my own bloating disappeared. And it there was something lacking. I think Rita said it so well, like you were saying, that just what is my food eating? Right? Because I was doing all those things already. I was taking all these mushrooms, I was doing all this spirulina, I was doing all this, but then this really changed everything. Like, oh, okay, this is the nutrient that is there's something that was lacking in the formulas before, and this was so complete, you know. And so, you know, I just began to share it with like crazy. And I love what Rita said too about how you can't, it's like I couldn't reach as many people as fast as possible. And, you know, I was limited to how many people I was seeing each day, you know, 2 to 5 clients, you know, in a day. And then eventually I was able to, and so through this particular model, this business model, I've been able to reach thousands and thousands of people. And I looked recently at the numbers, and it's been over 11,000 people whose lives have been touched and transformed by these products. And so, you know, I can't even imagine having that reach in the last 5.5 years doing what I was doing on a daily basis. So, and for me, what it's done personally is it's given me the ability to feed my family, support my family in the Philippines. I've been able to help 3 of my family members, my brother and my sister's children, go through college. And actually my 2 brothers' children, excuse me, they're my 2 nieces and nephew, you get that right. And been able to support them and help them start businesses and help them, you know, get teeth and just be able to even have nutrition. And so my dream looking forward is how to get this to the Philippines and actually be able to kind of somehow create like a business for them where they can be offering this nutrients and be able to support people in the Philippines with these nutrients. And that is actually like that is, you know, kind of my new thriving dream is how can I get that there to help them. But literally I have, you know, I'm earning 3 times or 4 times more than I was as a wedding photographer, way more than I was as a health practitioner. And yet what I love about this is that it's so affordable for the people that I bring it to, that this is something that everyone can afford, that people can thrive on. It's so it's so accessible. And, you know, even myself at some point I was, you know, struggling, and this was a healthy fast food. This was an easy way for me to get my nutrition, and in a way that was so affordable. So yeah, I really just, you know, love this company, love the mission and vision of Amy and Dave, and just like can't thank them enough for how much has changed my life. Both my health, incredibly 180, completely different person. In fact, I became a bodybuilder and started winning competitions, and I would have never dreamed that before starting this using these products. I couldn't even imagine, but this really has given me the opportunity to also just share it with so many people and thrive financially. So yeah, so grateful.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And, you know, just piggybacking off that concept of thanking Amy and Dave, I just want to pinpoint there how they're doing all the hard work. You know, we get to just share stories with people. We get to invite people to come to a call like this or check out a video and just see, you know, do you want to see if this is something that could be the solution I hear you say you're looking for? That's all we're doing all day long. We're just recommending materials to learn more. They're the ones who are growing, you know, harvesting, washing, juicing, dehydrating, packing, labeling, shipping, dealing with employees, insurance, problems with shipping, and all of those other, I mean, just like, whew, we don't have to deal with any of that. And for anybody here who's a healthcare practitioner who maybe did create your own products or did do, you know, had employees or any of that, like, wow, the amount, you know, talk about working smarter, not harder, and talk about leverage. So I just wanted to point that out because that's another like really unique facet of what we have here is honestly how little work we're doing and how huge the income potential is and the impact potential. So thank you so much for your story, Rachel. So amazing every time. And I'm going to bring on Leah here, who's going to share with us her practice and how what she's been able to achieve partnering with this company. And then she's going to do a quick overview of our basic 30-day program. And then we're going to bring Rachel back on, and she's going to talk to you about prices and how you can get started. And then we're done. So thanks everybody for being here. And Leah, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, Christina. Wow, this has been so rich and beautiful. Everyone who's spoken, I am just like shining, and it always brings me so much joy and fulfillment to know that I'm part of such a powerful community of people who care about the earth and about people and about uplifting humanity and everything that we're all about, changing the systems that have not been working, the economic systems, the agricultural systems, the health systems, bringing justice. And that is part of what happened for me as a postpartum mom on a personal level. Well, first of all, I'm an acupuncturist and massage and craniosacral therapist, and have been devoted to health and healing for, I don't know, 25 years as a practitioner. And at 14 years old, I became vegetarian. And that awakened, through that, I was awakened to what is the agricultural system that we live in, because my parents said, you need to figure out how to feed yourself because we don't know how to feed a vegetarian. And through that, I did a lot of reading, and I found out, wow, there are so many chemicals happening in our food system. I had no idea. I just ate what was on my plate. And so I actually started with my passion for agriculture and for transforming the food systems, and was a farmer, and wrote my whole thesis in college about community supported agriculture and the history of the Green Revolution and chemical agriculture. And when I was doing that, I was like, I can't make money as a farmer. Like, not that I can't, but I just saw that that was not going to be a pathway that would actually support me economically, even though it was such a passion. So then I went toward human health and massage and craniosacral therapy and acupuncture. And I've been an acupuncturist for 11 years now. And part of my passion for acupuncture was working with people through body work. I was like, there's more. Like, how do I help people on a deeper level, get to the root of why are people in pain? What's going on with people? And Chinese medicine got deeper. And Chinese medicine is about going to the root of what's going on, not looking at the symptoms as we do in Western medicine. And that really turned me on. And what I found when I was a year postpartum, coming back, looping back to what I just started to share, is I was exhausted. My daughter had been waking up every 2 hours. I was a 40-year-old first-time mom, and I thought of myself as really healthy, but no matter what I did, I was just exhausted and emotionally spent. And I saw Christina, who I've been friends with for many years, and I saw her health having transformed. And I was just like, I'm tired of cooking and cleaning and trying to figure out what to eat just to try to feed myself, and nothing's working. And like, I just am ready to try this thing. And I was like at my wit's end. I was just like, I can feel like the tears where I was just like, I don't know what to do. I'm like so depleted. And so I just was like, okay, let me try this thing. And within 2 weeks, I had so much more energy. My emotions were balanced. I had more patience. I felt physically strong again. And it was just like, wow, I know a lot about herbs and a lot about nutrition, but none of that did something. There's something in this that's making a difference. And as I started to share, and now as I've been sharing for 3 years and part of this community, it has really been that place of getting even deeper to the root. And what I mean by that is both Chinese medicine and Ayurveda are beautiful, beautiful medicines, and they're very powerful. And yet they were developed in a time before we lived in a chemical-filled world. And they're not designed to clear glyphosate, Roundup, and other pesticides and herbicides from our system, because those didn't exist then. And so in this whole lifelong journey of getting deeper to the root of what is creating illness, I've come to this whole study of the gut microbiome, which we didn't learn about at all in Chinese medicine school. I did a lot of pre-med classes, didn't learn about it at all. And we didn't spend a lot of time on nutrition. And you know, I know that even doctors don't learn about nutrition. And so this has been really that deep root of like, here is what the modern, illness, dis-ease, this epidemic of people being sick with so many different kinds of conditions and imbalances, is that we have to get to the root. And so on that passion level for health and healing and agriculture, Purium brought those two together just for like what I'm passionate about on health levels for people in the planet. And then as a mom, I all of a sudden was like, wow, this like dollar per hour model of me having to be there physically in person and not being able to be with my daughter, like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to leave and go be in the office and not be able to be with her. This is such a precious time. And I also had this like blossoming in me, like I want to help more people. So there's a conflict there where I want to help more people, and yet I want more time with my daughter, and I can't do both of those. And I'm like, that will just like I don't have the energy for all of that, or the time actually for impacting as many lives. And then I also actually at the same time was like, and this whole one-on-one healer, healy, like I want to work in a community. Like I've always had a dream of creating a holistic healing center and having an integrative practice with other practitioners. And so Purium like was the answer for all of this. It's like how to help people, how to have more time and location freedom, be with my family, be part of a community, be in a collaborative space. And so it's just like been such an incredible answer to all of these prayers that I had that I didn't even know could all be like combined into one, how to have an impact on all of these levels that I see as being systems that I have had. I've been a rebel against the systems that have been, and like now I get to be part of a community who are creating a new system rather than just being anti what is, or creating new pathways for economic, agricultural, and health transformation. So yeah. Love it. And so with that collaboration, I want to go into sharing about like what we do as a collaboration for supporting people, and talk more about like, what are the nuts and bolts of like, how do people get started in their body? What is this health piece? One of the collaborations that we have is that we help support people through a 30-day health reset. And what that is what you've been hearing. We help people to restore the health of the gut microbiome, detoxify glyphosate and other environmental toxins from our bodies, young fungus, yeast, parasites, and then flood the body with this nutrition that you've been hearing about. And so like everyone's been alluding to, this really works at that root level of helping to heal, because of most of us are walking around in nutrient poor, overly toxic systems. And so we get to clear out the toxins, given the nutrients. And then we have this collaboration where we have a group of us who get to support people, and we get to share. And so we have different configurations of how this happens within different groups. So several of us have different formats where we have practitioners like myself who will help guide people with, like I offer Qigong videos, and I know there's educational videos with regenerative detox and talking more about that. There's yoga, there's Pilates, and we really help to guide people through a full life transformation while they're doing the inner work with all of the products. And so, you know, if you want to learn more about that, we actually right now are in this springtime blossoming. And so we've got multiple groups going on, and you can plug in with whoever invited you to this call to learn more about that, and about, you know, more about the products and more about what is this offering. Most of us are offering the support for free, and all that people need to do is purchase the 30-day pack that's going to be all given to yourself. And it's a really beautiful transformational experience, and it's connected with community. It's you know, deep inner healing, and we get to do it together. So I think that was about what I was going to share with it. You know, like as far as what the products do and more product knowledge, there's a lot of resources for that. I'm just giving that overview, and you can find out more about it. We have little short videos that you can watch or connect with the person who invited you to this call. And I'm going to hand it back over to Rachel to share more the last little bits about pricing and whatever else Rachel's going to share from her magic. And thank you so much for joining us today. This has been so inspiring, and I'm so grateful to be able to share this with more people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. This is just so incredible. Thank you, everybody. So a little bit about how to get started. You know, and also I just want to say that this is something that anyone can do, whether you're a health practitioner or not. This is something that you can support people. You don't have to be diagnosing and, you know, doing things on a clinical level. This is so doable. Anybody on any level who wants to support people in health, you can just share these 30-day protocols with people. Or we have up to 70 different products in our online store. You would have your own online superfood superstore, and you would start by having these great little gift codes that give people the chance to have $50 off or 25% off, depending on what is greater on what they decide to order. And we have all the training involved. We mentor you. You will learn how to share this and how to, you either incorporate this into your nutrition business, or how to share this with people just as your friends and your family, and on any level that you want to share. So the way to get started is you can actually, normally it would be $1.99 to order a business pack, but what we all recommend is that you actually experience nutrition and have these superfoods, starting with the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Pack, Variety Pack. This is something, this gives you enough product to have yourself for a month, you know, like up to 60 meals for 30 days. And you can have, you can also share this with people. You can also sample out of it and give people samples from it. And it's just an incredible protocol. And this is $11 a day for 2 meals a day for 30 days. That's what it is, plus all of your supplements, all the supplementation. You can learn more about this from the person who invited you if you want to know what all the different details are. I have clinics on my team who actually have the whole packs offered at their office. I have people who just order it online. I have fitness practitioners who are people who are, you know, in the fitness world, who share this at their studios and just like have it on the display, so people can learn about it. And so anyway, it's great to start with this pack, and it's normally it would be $4.29 for anybody who just retail. And for anybody here, you're going to get 25% off from whoever invited you, and it's $3.29, so $100 off. So with this pack, you can actually decide to become a brand partner. We call it a brand partner, or an affiliate. You can have this for free. So you can become a business, you can own the business for free. That gives you access to the website, that gives you your own website, that gives you your app, that gives you all the tools that you need to get started to share this information. There's studies in there, all different kinds of things that you can, and videos that explain everything. And this is just really, all the tools are there, including team membership. This is the team, you get the membership, and then it's also trainings. There's also just wonderful trainings throughout the week and opportunities to share the information. You've got Smart Order is something I recommend highly. So the Smart Order is what gives you access to all the bonuses, and then also gives you an incredible, it's kind of like rewards points. It is rewards points, kind of like miles points for getting airline tickets. So you can actually get free product. So if you get a Smart Order, which is a monthly shipment, we recommend the Core 4 Daily, the Daily Core 4, that's a monthly, so that you can actually have the maintenance, and so you can have this nutrition every day to detox and nourish. Daily Detox and Nourish is really what's going to give you, it's going to give you all the products for gut health, and daily, just feeling amazing daily, just having all the energy daily. So that is $6 a day, about $6 a day, $1.89 a month. And for, again, for like replaces one, can replace 1 meal a day or be a snack a day, plus all of your supplements, which you can learn more about. We've got videos that explain everything. There's a wonderful hour-long video that you can get if you really want to get all the details of it. So that's the way we recommend. You can also start with the Core 4 Daily as your beginning. That can also get you access to the business, and so you can just like try everything, just sample all the products. So get with the person, whoever is sharing this video with you. If you're watching the replay, go back to the person who showed it to you, and you can get started with them. I recommend the Variety Pack for most people. And yeah, I'm wondering if I missed anything. How am I doing?
You're doing amazing. Everybody here is amazing. And I'll wrap up with a couple of points here. I just want to say, 1, thank you to everybody. 2, if you're a healthcare practitioner and you're on this call listening, like, could this be for me? One thing that healthcare practitioners often think of is, oh, I'm going to have these products and I'll share it with my patients or clients, and I'll, kind of create this income stream this way. And I will say, yes, that's one aspect. And what you've created there is really just more of another job. Where the magic really happens in this business model is when you partner with other business partners, other people looking for greater impact and greater income. And that's when you're really leveraging your time and you're building an organization. You heard a lot of people talk about the loving of the collaboration. When you partner with other business partners, that's where you create the residual income. So often, healthcare practitioners are looking for I love my job, I love my work, but it's too many hours. And when does it end? How do I finally stop working one day? When do I get to retire? What is my exit strategy? So that is the magic here. And when you can reach out to other healthcare practitioners or other friends, anybody in your network, and say that, I love what you're doing. And I'm curious, how do you plan to stop working one day? What's your exit strategy? And you help them start to catch the vision of what we have and bring them to learn more and sign, and and they come in to join you. That's when you're going to start to really see that leverage that's going to allow you to, like Rita, just spend a lot of time at the beach and really let this be part-time hours for major impact and income. So I just really wanted to drive that point home, because that's what's so amazing here. And I'm growing this income stream, and it's fully funding our 27-acre organic farm and eventually retreat center, which is a miracle. It's amazing. I never knew how to create that kind of income before, and this has been the solution. So I wanted to bring that point home. And the last thing I'll say is, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? Thank you, everybody, for being here. Powerful times we're in. So much love to you.